Hello, I'm FTX and a lot of the videos I upload on this channel are of course Minecraft related, so a lot of people have the obvious question of why don't you play the other version of Minecraft Toycat, why don't you pick up the Java edition? So let's do exactly that today, and wow, we open the game and we get this launcher where we can see some of the delightful art that Minecraft has designed for the game. And obviously this art is meant to be a little bit stylistic, so the textures don't match entirely, but my immediate impression upon looking at this is like, why is it that they're in a lit up cave by both torches and lava, but there are still multiple mobs spawning? Why is it that even though spiders can't do that in the normal game, they're on the wall in this picture, as well as a skeleton, which again shouldn't have spawned, and also is peeking outside the wall in a way it doesn't do in Minecraft. But even the most basic details seem wrong when you look at this cover art, because you can see that Steve, for instance, is literally 3 blocks tall. He's the height of that one stone block. Then if you look to the left too, you can see he's the height of 2 more stone blocks, almost. He's like 2 point something meters. He is almost 1.5 times as tall as he is in the base game in this art, and it just makes me go like, man, all of this art that Minecraft designs themselves, thinking it's so great, always has the issue of being horrifically inaccurate. And that's why, you know, instead of playing the Java edition, today I'm going to be going through and I'm going to be looking at some of the official Minecraft art and just some of the clear mistakes it made, because it was designed by people who didn't necessarily play Minecraft or want to portray it in an accurate sense. You might be questioning, is this going to be a whole video criticizing box art? I mean, that'd be pretty low effort of me. Oh, actually, never mind. That's exactly what I wanted to do with this video. So let's dive straight into it. Let's ignore the Java, loading screen, and let's instead criticize the fact that, yeah, most versions of Minecraft, when they launch officially, have to do this to like market Minecraft to the outside world, and it's just as weird every single time we see it. So here is the Xbox One edition of the game, the old Xbox One version, I should say. And as you can see, looking at this logo, beyond the fact that it's got PG on it, and yes, that is a real thing. In Australia, Minecraft is counted as parental guidance required, which is hilarious. But if we ignore that fact, you can see that, like, oh yeah, the most obvious thing, the thing they're showing to you front and center, the diamond pickaxe, does not look like a diamond pickaxe. That is not how pickaxes look in Minecraft. And again, most of the textures are very slightly stylized, but you can still tell exactly what all of them are. Why would they make such a glaring mistake with the diamond pickaxe? And again, it's a little bit frustrating to look at, but that's fine. I mean, the dog that's center frame, that looks great. The Steve at least follows the normal Steve picture, and even that creeper in the background, everything's fine. Except if you look at the creeper in the background, you can see how there's one skeleton to the left of him who's on fire, and one skeleton to the right who's not. I mean, it makes sense, he's on fire because it's daytime, but you can see there's no cover for the right skeleton, as well as that right zombie, but for some reason, they're also not on fire. Also, why is there a chicken just to the left of both of those with a diamond block, I think that is? It could be like a blue concrete or something, but this is from 2012, so no, that's a diamond block, a very weird looking one, that the chicken just has on its back. Why is that? What is that meant to be? What is that meant to signify? Is that meant to make you want to play Minecraft by being like, wow, the chickens take off with your diamond blocks? I don't understand it at all, but the worst and most violent egregious, kind of violation in my opinion, is the fact that you look in the top left corner and you can see there's 2 minecarts next to each other. Clearly the implication is they're moving together like a train. That's not how it works in Minecraft. It should be. It'd be cool if you could link 2 minecarts together like that, but you can't. But the one thing that's worse than all of that combined, if we say that, you know what, all these things are kind of stylistic interpretations. They're all technically possible. You could get this game state minus the pickaxe, which is just a stylistic thing, but then look at that mountain that the minecarts are going into, and you can see there's a hole right there, and that hole takes up like 9/10 of a block. You can see how it should just leave the mountain kind of missing a block on one side, but no, what happens instead is you can still see it's like, again, 9/10 of a block. There's the tiniest thin bit of stone. That would be so cool if that was a real thing you could do in Minecraft, having like 1 wide tunnels that you could make stuff through. That would be great if that existed, but it doesn't. And it's just like, why do you need to do stuff like this? Why not just make the mountain 1 block wider? And the answer is that these, things are probably commissioned by artists who you maybe haven't seen too much Minecraft, and the clear inaccuracies in the foreground are paid attention to. But what about people like me who spend all the time looking at the background, who are immediately drawn to this and go like, wait, why was this necessary? Like, again, maybe this is just me not appreciating art, but look at the PlayStation 4 edition of the game. This is also the cover art they use for the PlayStation 3 edition, as well as the PlayStation Vita. Again, seems kind of lazy to reuse it, but again, especially, like, it'd be great to reuse something that was wonderful, but the problem with this is it has the exact exact same kind of issue. Okay, it's Steve. He's got a diamond sword, which doesn't look too perfect, but whatever. He's wearing full diamond armor. This is a realistic situation. And then there's a bunch of mobs in the cave fighting him. So there's also a bat, because this was after the pretty scary update. 2 bats, in fact. Wow, spooky bats. Bats being on the cover edition is such a weird thing, because they're one of the most inconsequential mobs. Like, if you want to advertise something about Minecraft, the bats are never near the top of the list. Like, I can't work out who this is for. It even looks like, because, you know, you can see the 2 zombies and the skeletons are looking directly at the player, about to attack. It even looks like the bats are about to attack the player. So I would say this is misleading. This goes, you know, if I put this on a thumbnail, I would argue this would be some form of clickbait. At the very least, it'd be hinting at clickbait, which is obviously just like, that's what YouTube in 2020 is, right? Everyone just puts things which are only hinting at something bad. It's not immediately call-outable, but it's still the same kind of problem, and even worse than that, in my opinion, because, you know, the cave is lit up behind him because he's been lighting stuff up, and then he finds all these mobs, so they've clearly just spawned right now. But again, that can happen, freak circumstance. What can't happen in a freak circumstance is, or like, unless it's very, very lucky, is, as you can see, diamonds have spawned over here next to the zombie, over here next to the skeleton, over here next to the spider, as well as over here next to the other zombie. Wow, it just so happens that we have 2 skeletons, 2 zombies, 2 bats, and a spider on top of 4 separate veins, or maybe, if we're being really generous, 3 separate veins. The 2 on the left could be 1, but 3 separate veins of diamond all in the same cave. I don't know, it just seems unlikely, and at least it's rated only a 7, because, you know, fantasy violence. But the PlayStation 4 art, I always hate it. Whenever it comes up, I'm like, oh, this is my least favorite thing. But fortunately, you never see this version of Minecraft PS4 anymore, because if you don't know, crazy thing happened in the Bedrock world. All the console editions of Minecraft, the PlayStation 4 edition, the Xbox One edition, the 360 edition, even the Wii U edition, they're all gone. They don't exist anymore. There's no Minecraft console edition. Instead, there's Minecraft Bedrock, which means the new Minecraft PS4 box looks like this. As you can see, it just says Minecraft, and it's much happier than before. Instead of being in a cave, being attacked by bats and skeletons, you're on top of a mountain. And wow, this is really accurate. I'm glad that, because Minecraft had been around by 10 years, by the time they got to this, they finally started to realize that they could be accurate. I mean, Steve is the right height. That's really impressive. And there's nothing I can criticize about this box art. I mean, besides the fact that Steve has an iron pickaxe, Alex has an iron sword. They're clearly playing co-op together, right? They've even got a little army of sheep, pig, and a wolf they've got with them, which, for the record, you don't bring them to the top of a mountain when you're going to attack mobs or whatever. But the weird thing is, neither of them have any armor on, and Steve, as you can see, just has iron tools right now, and that's despite the fact that they have not only kind of terraformed the top of this mountain in some way, it looks like, you know, based on that fact that that cave could not naturally generate, but also they've managed to build a minecart rail going all the way up here, as well as a minecart. It's a tall mountain too. Like, they spent a lot of iron on those rails before building a single bit of iron armor. That's just reckless, you know. That's not being very smart, Alex and Steve. But even worse than that is the fact that if you look in this box art, it hints at something which isn't in the real game, and that is this kind of weird cave dungeon thing happening at the top of the mountain. You can see how coming out from there's like, I believe that is a skeleton. It looks like a silverfish too. I really can't even tell what that is, even though this is a high resolution box art. You know, we can see there's like some form of silverfishy looking thing. We can see there's a zombie all coming out of a lit cave. They should not have been able to spawn. It is daytime. That cave that they are in is lit. There are no shadows, no darkness that should be coming out of there. But yeah, and also a silverfish should be able to spawn anyway. That's not how lit caves work. It's again, it's a big problem in my opinion, but it's not the worst and most egregious problem with this art, which, by the way, was designed recently, within the last year. I just want to mention that again. But also, if you look around here, you can see how, like, okay, the grass is facing diagonally towards the camera. That's not how grass works. Grass is, you know, it doesn't follow you around. It doesn't place diagonally like that. But that's just the smallest thing, because look in the bottom left, and you can see there's an NPC village there. An NPC village which shouldn't exist, because this looks like it's an extreme hills biome, right? Look at the size of this thing. So it shouldn't be here in the first place. But if it was going to be here, it shouldn't be just a single building. We can see there's no pathway leading in or out of that. So it's a single building with a single villager, and then that single villager lives in a house that doesn't exist. What I don't, you know, like, this is not a type of NPC village house which you can find in Minecraft. Look at all those fences. It looks really nice, right? It's got some, you know, like, wooden stuff going on that would make for a really nice village house. Why is it that Minecraft thinks their own game is not good enough to sell their own game? Like, this is the biggest problem I have with all these box arts, is that it kind of raises this problem of, like, okay, we have all of these issues. Every time we put out a piece of art, we have to kind of lie or artistically sell something about the game, why is the game itself not good enough to sell the game? Minecraft is the world's most popular game ever, but they don't think that, the villages in the game are good enough to sell people on it. And if that's the case, why not make the villages better so that you don't have to feel that, rather than making it just for this one screenshot, why not just change the village generation so this is a real thing that can happen? I understand, making the most ideal circumstance for stuff like this, but the ideal circumstance should make sense and should be at least in the realm of plausible. A skeleton, a zombie, and a silverfish coming out of a lit cave? I mean, that's not in the realm of plausible. A single villager chilling off to the side in a single house village that generated by itself, not actually possible. The village starts generating from the well outwards, right? And there's no well we can see. It could be behind the mountain, we'll give it benefit of the doubt, but there's no pathway leading from there to the village house. They either built this village house themselves, and if they built the village house themselves, why do they have no armor? It just, it's questions on questions on questions, and, the thing that's even worse than any of this is the fact that they even advertise, again, this shows the kind of difference between people who market the game and people who play the game and want to pick up a copy, say, of Minecraft PlayStation 4, is then it even advertises the microtransaction token system on the start of the game. Not a huge fan of that one, but we'll move on because, I just got one last thing that I want to complain about. If you look at Minecraft on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, but it's easy to look at the Google Play Store via a browser, so we'll do that today because, no Apple for you guys. I'm just saying, Google Play Store, it's a choice. Apple App Store, not really a choice if you have an iOS device. Seems like a problem, but let's not get involved in the epic Apple debate for now, shall we? And instead, let's just talk about, wow, here's the Google Play Store, here's Minecraft. Do you want to buy it? Maybe you do. Maybe we should look at some images first. And if you look at those images, you can see there's some nice enough ones. But then as you go further along them, you can see they get more and more markety. Again, designed by a marketing team who maybe don't play too much Minecraft, you could assume. And the reason we can tell that is because look at this house right here. It's a really nice house. It's telling you to fend off dangerous mobs. But at this point in the game, why would you, two players living together, not sleep to skip the night? You clearly have a house. There's probably 2 beds in there. It'd be weird if there wasn't. And even if you just decide oh yeah, we're not going to skip through the nights. We want to fight those dangerous monsters. Why would you only have a single torch and a single campfire to deal with that? You can see how poorly lit this house is because a spider spawned on the roof. I'm just saying, maybe it's meant to make you feel less bad about yourself for all the mistakes that you make, but it's just Alex going out to defeat the mobs. By the way, leaving Steve in the house. Maybe this is some proud point about feminism. Wow, I can defend the house by myself, and I can leave my husband at home on my male counterpart because Alex and Steve aren't. I forget their relation. They're vaguely friends, but also they have relations sometimes. Again, bit weird stuff. We'll leave that to the side for now. But husband, friend, lover, acquaintance that we share a house with, leave them at home and go out to fight the mobs. I don't know what commentary it's trying to make there, but whatever. But you can see that, no, it's not smart to go out and fight those mobs. There's 2 skeletons shooting you, Alex. There's a spider on your roof. There's 2 zombies there. Don't be doing this. There's a creeper in the background. This is, I'm just saying, wait for them to come to you. Hide in your house, and they'll come to your front door. This is not how you fend off the dangerous mobs. And again, at least this one is within the realm of Minecraft accuracy because it's a real screenshot. But I feel like if they were limited by that, they would totally add some extra stuff on here. And also, this isn't a real house anyone makes. Look at the this is a fairly nicely designed spruce on the bottom, it looks like, followed by oak on the top. But then there's a random bit of cobblestone above the door where there's a torch, and it's why did you make a campfire before you made any other torches? Why are those, I just have so many questions, but more questions come from this screenshot, because again, it's the same thing where they don't have armor on, they're building this castle, a fairly small castle, into the side of the hill, but there's no access point to this castle as best we can tell. If you look right here, besides the scaffolding, which Steve is working with, I love scaffolding by the way, and weirder than that is the fact that, as you can see, they've built banners at this point in the game, but they haven't started protecting themselves from all of the things that are coming after them. I'm just saying, a little bit of a questionable decision. But anyway, the point I'm trying to kind of come across with these videos is something that's annoyed me for literally years now, and I don't know if it is just me, but I made a whole video about it anyway, and it's the fact that Minecraft in particular is pretty bad at this. Other games do it to a lesser extent, but games, that feel, really any media that tries to market itself, not by using its actual assets, but by kind of making a pretend on top of it, it always jars me in a slightly weird way. And it's obviously not meant to appeal to me. I'm already playing Minecraft, so they don't need to lure me in with these box arts. But it's like when movie trailers, they just have a bunch of shots that aren't in the movie, and it's wait, shouldn't your movie stand on the thing itself? Pictures and stuff should be from the actual form of media. It's like when thumbnails are unrelated to the video entirely, and it's like, but you know, if you just is your video not good enough to have at least something to even exaggerate for that? And I find it to be a very interesting thing about how marketing works. That like, yeah, actually, the best way to sell something is to not show the product itself, but instead to show what people want on top of that. I mean, the way that we market cars and the way that we market things is by convincing you that it's not just a car, it's not just a game, it's that gap in your life that it's trying to fill. That's how you get people to part with money. But I also just feel like, you know, it's Minecraft, right? Like it's a game that everyone knows at this point in time. No one is looking at that being like, huh, what's this Minecraft thing? And if it is Minecraft, shouldn't we look, you know, the best way to sell Minecraft is be like, hey, it's Minecraft and it's only $20. Give us your money, you plebs. I feel like that might as well be the box art for Minecraft, and the fact that it's not is a big shame. But maybe that's just me. Maybe this is just me being an old bitter man, slowly growing and realizing that the world around me doesn't match me. But every single time we see a brand new box art, and we're going to see this happen with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox 3, the Xbox Series X thing version of, well, you know, when the new consoles come out, let's put it that way, we're going to see some new box art, and it's going to have this same artistic design where it's like, this is not how the game would actually look at any point in time. It's barely even an accurate representation of it, but it's something that clearly someone is deciding to do. Maybe they just want to hire artists. Again, I feel like that's a fair thing to do, like give them free reign. But then if you're giving people free reign, why does Steve still look like a blocky character and usually have the correct proportions? Why is he just slightly off the normal reigns? And I don't know, I'm just trying to say, Minecraft's a beautiful game. You should all buy it. Give me your money, plebs. Yeah, that's my sales pitch. Anyway, if you all enjoyed this video and you want to see more of these, have you considered subscribing? I hear it's really good for you. And also, it just allows you to see more of these videos daily on your homepage. Also, if you really want to support the channel, you can become a member. That's a monthly contribution that helps out the channel a lot. And you know what? Don't feel obliged to do anything because it's the internet. Everything on the internet is a lie. And all I'm saying right here is become a member of my channel, you plebs. There we go. That's my marketing pitch. Subscribe, become a member, like 5 stars, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.